Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and this new video. Today, as you can see, the Panigale is on the lift and the time has finally come to upgrade it with a new exhaust air filter, engine control unit mapping, and a few extra little touches.
Today, however, as you can see, we're not at a moto garage, but at BMAX Racing, the team from the National Trophy 1000.
This is Massimo. Massimo, thank you for your hospitality. We're in his workshop because today we're going to work on the Panigale V4 with him, and he really knows a lot about Panigales. Also, what does this gentleman here race with?
He used to race.
He used to race. But let's not jump ahead. I need to give context or it won't make sense. Last week there was the championship at Imola. This championship this weekend didn't go very well. 2 good laps from the second lap onward. Bad because he got annoyed. There was an oil spill. His steering locked up. He went off into the gravel and did some damage. So the mood today, aside from me, since I'm still pretty lively and happy, the mood of the other two isn't great. But we're trying to help them recover a bit. As much as I can anyway. Obviously, I can't give them back the championship points. Anyway, aside from that, today with Gabriele and Massimo we'll be working on the Panigale V4 that we've been waiting for so much on the channel. So I'm bringing you this content that's different from the usual Imoto Garage workshop, not because there's anything special going on with Roberto, but simply because Roberto is an employee at Imoto Garage. And unfortunately, we weren't able to find a slot to work on it within the time frame I needed. Because as you know, this bike should have already been returned to WRS. Some parts, like today's exhaust, arrived late, so I can't deliver it yet. If the exhaust isn't here, it still needs to be installed. We need to put on a bit of a show. We need to show you how it sounds and how this Dyson 5.4 2025 can sing. So we switched to Plan B, Max Racing, and here we are today.
You prepared this one?
I didn't prepare it. That's just how it is. It just came to me. So guys, here we are today.
At Massimo's, who has the workshop, by the way, in Ciampino. Specifically dedicated, a workshop dedicated to scooters, maxi scooters.
And speed bikes.
And speed bikes, but especially Benelli. He enjoys working on them. If your vehicle needs work, even just a tire change, visit Massimo. And the doors of his workshop are always open. No guys, jokes aside, this workshop is a temple of racing. I'll give you a quick tour while Massimo proceeds with reading the original Eco Control Unit. There's really a lot to talk about here. I have many rooms to show you, but today isn't the right time because we need to focus on her. With Massimo, we're here with Massimo with some tools we already know from Dinsport. By the way, I'll leave the video for you up in the eye at the top right. And recently, there was an in-depth feature directly at their company.
The genius. We went to read the map. We should be ready.
Today with Max, who hasn't spoken yet since he's not used to it. Guys, I talk a lot.
I'm very shy.
He's very shy. This thing makes me laugh a lot. But very soon we'll unbox the exhaust. I'll show you what they sent us, and above all, let's see what we can get out of her since she's been stocked for way too long. As usual, first step is to start the bike and run it with a couple of pulls here on the dyno.
To see the original values, which we'll need at the end of today's whole setup, so we can compare what the bike was and what it has become.
We did a couple of stock runs with Max, and I'll let him comment on the results directly since he's definitely more experienced.
So this bike, first of all, is a new setup, both electronically and in terms of the chassis. It's all new, so there's definitely a lot to discover, especially for street use. It's a stock map for everyone, from the most experienced to the least experienced. So there are many maps in this engine control unit that manage the power, delivery, and horsepower, from base maps to race maps in the original configuration. The maps close the throttles a lot, so we will perform a mapping to try to open the throttles at the highest RPMs.
Obviously, we performed the runs here with the Race A map, all controls disabled, and the resulting horsepower at the wheel. How much is it, Max?
This dyno feels restrained due to its heavy roller. And as for wheel horsepower, it comes out stock in its original configuration with the exhaust filters and everything at about 182.5 horsepower at the wheels.
However, because you were telling me that during the throttle opening tests, you noticed it was hitting a certain revolutions per minute range.
Then the engine bogs down, and this connects to what we were talking about.
The throttle valves close, limiting power output.
Obviously, he wants to emphasize the fact that the test bench has a very heavy roller because, translated from technical jargon to plain language,
It's a test bench that doesn't give us anything for free. So if other benches, maybe with a lighter roller, can give a few more horsepower.
this is a very, very, very conservative test bench. So it tends to sometimes be very, very precise, maybe even too much. So now the process we're going to do is unload the bike from everything related to the test bench. We'll take it back to the workshop, and while it cools down, we'll do a bit of unboxing and check out the goodies I brought for you here in the workshop today. And in the meantime, good Gabriele, who's watching over us and helping us out, will start opening up the Panigale so we can get to work. Hold on. I need to make a small clarification. The horsepower at the wheel value we just gave you is actually inaccurate. What does that mean? Basically, in this part of the video, we took the highest value from the 3 runs we did with the original stock bike. What happened, and what I only realized during editing, unfortunately, the reason I'm making this small video insert is that in the next runs, the value we'll take will always be the lowest one out of the 3 runs. So if in the next runs you hear different values compared to the current one, well, just know that there was this small mistake. The bike officially puts out 178 horsepower on the first run, not 182. This is because by doing several runs in a row, the oil inside the engine heats up, becomes more fluid, and so you always get a few more horsepower. This means that in the next charts you'll see, Max and I will base ourselves on the first run with a value of 178 horsepower instead of 182. Now that I've explained everything, we can resume the video. As tradition goes, the mechanic opens it. Let's proceed. Let's start right away with the big package.
Let's open this one.
We want to show it right away.
I always began with the biggest present under the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Of the small ones you let in at the end.
Spoiled? Let's see then. I think the brand is pretty recognizable even upside down. Arrow. Now we just need to figure out which exhaust they sent us, because this year Arrow also introduced the high exhaust. But from what I know, it shouldn't be the high one. It should be titanium, and it should be the low one. Let's see. This is the innocent pipe. Guys, this is a gutter. In total, the snorkel, here there will be the silencers. Ah, yes.
The packaging is nice.
You like the packaging?
The packaging, yes.
Yes, scratch it, good, tear it all open. Here we are. Max took it out.
What do you say?
Oh my, what a little thing, huh? Let me hear this titanium a bit. Madonna, I must touch everything. Madonna, this carbon finished salami slice. Nice. Do we only like one, or is that all there is? There's just one.
Just one.
Something new. I was expecting 2. Let's do it. But instead, there's only one left. Let's see how it will be installed. So, spoilered exhaust, and then exactly the little connector. And then we also have something that added to the rest between recalibration and the full exhaust will make the difference. But we have 2 of them. We have an F185 and a P08 from Sprint Filter, top filters for the performance they can give to the engines they're installed on. But we have both filters, because with Sprint Filter, we want to show you the difference compared to the original one, compared to the P08 and compared to the F185, to show you the performance level with only the components installed. How much does it change from the original to the P08 and F185? To complete this triumvirate, we have their Jet Prime closing kit, the pair kit.
With these, we will limit those explosions, that backfire we have in the manifolds with the exhaust gases.
Are these things used in the racing world?
Everything is definitely removed.
Everything is removed and sealed.
Once the control unit is installed, we may not need to include this.
But anyway, we have it. Maybe we'll use it. Exactly, we'll use it as a decoration, as a decorative piece.
As a decoration.
laughing and joking.
Here we've reached the complete installation. We have this Arrow full titanium installed down there. There's a small piece of fairing missing that we'll have to fix later. Don't worry, we'll finish it up. You start, I'll listen. Let's hear how it barks.
It's loud. It lacks a decibel killer. It's race use only.
With this, I'm not sure how far I can go. Honestly, I won't take it away from me. Yes, it turns off and the noise returns to normal levels. It's cold, but it wasn't freezing. I revved it lightly. It wasn't freezing. Anyway, now let's move. Let's go back to the bench and see right away how the P08 performs, then the F185, and then we'll see how it goes with the map made by Good Max. We need to write a small update file inside the original engine control unit because we've basically removed some components, like the exhaust valve.
And since the new Aero exhaust doesn't have this valve inside the headers,
We need to patch the original engine control unit so that no warning shows up on the dashboard. So engine warning lights are strange things that could end up limiting the bike's performance, which would understandably go into recovery mode on the dyno. Dyno runs are done, and we've transferred the data to the computer and opened the graphs to compare the different runs. That we did, but we took the best ones from the entire dyno session to compare them and show you the differences. The original setup, cotton air filter and stock exhaust, just like when I brought the bike to Max this morning. Then we installed the Aero exhaust and installed the P08 sprint filter, and then we replaced the P08 filter with the F185 one.
more racing. As you can see from the graphs shown on the monitor, we have an original value of 178.26 to be precise at the wheel.
All the measurements expressed today are at the wheel with an eddy current brake dyno, just to be precise. Then, with the second setup, we have 182.63. And with the third and final setup, where we changed the filter and installed the F185, we have 185.14. All of this, guys, is just components, so Max hasn't done the tuning yet.
We ran these tests to show there's a real difference between an €80 filter and a €250 one.
A few more horsepower obviously brings benefits. Then in general, we'll see when the tuner, in this case Max, will orchestrate, will bring everything into harmonious balance. So everything we've installed by doing a model-specific engine control unit recalibration, finally, the work here at BMAX Racing with good old Max is finished. Now we're going to show you the final graph. After the last runs we did following the recalibration of the original engine control unit. Max, how much did we get out of it?
So we had an increase of many horsepower. Originally, this bike is very, very limited. Let's say we started with 178 horsepower at the wheel, and we managed to reach about 193 horsepower, 192.99. And we adjusted the fuel mixture a lot. Let's say by opening up the exhaust, we had to correct the entire fuel line to get an optimal fuel mixture, even for street use.
So at this point, let's also show them this fuel mixture chart so they can realize the fine work we've done today.
Here we are. As you can see, the green line represents our fuel mixture overlaid on the red line, which is the ideal mixture, and we're basically right on the mark. This means, Max, that, to put it simply,
That it made me work.
it means that the bike runs well. There are no power delivery gaps. The throttle is smooth throughout the entire rev range, and the torque has also increased. Now we'll show you the graph together with Max. Here we are, as you can see, guys, from basically 6,000 revolutions per minute and up. The green line is our new torque curve, while the red one is the original, just like good Max said.
the bike turns out to be very, very restricted in its original form.
But I think this is also done on purpose because of emission regulations.
Yes, Euro 5 Plus, which heavily limits the fuel mixture.
Guys, we've reached the end of this video as well. Of course, I want to thank good old Max.
I invite you to check him out here in Ciampino if you're in the area, or contact him if you want to recalibrate the engine control unit on your bikes.
As you saw here, the situation isn't final yet, but the results. And this really certifies the quality of the work behind it, which is truly excellent.
Of course, I'll reserve the right to bother you again in the near future.
For any other bike, I'll say the same about Freccia Verde. That's all from Max. We'll see you in the next video. If you like this one, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and drop a comment below.
Bye, guys.